Have you ever felt like an alien in your own life? As if you're constantly decoding social rules that everyone else just seems to know instinctively? Maybe you find yourself rehearsing conversations in your head, or second-guessing every word you say, while others seem to glide through social situations with ease. It's like you're always on the outside, watching a play unfold without ever being handed the script. You might feel invisible or like you're playing a part that doesn't quite fit. You see people connecting with ease, sharing inside jokes and reading each other's cues, while every interaction for you feels like translating a foreign language, one with rules that keep changing. Everyday things, bright lights, small talk, or sudden changes in plans can leave you completely drained, as if your brain has too many tabs open and you can't find the mute button. So you retreat, not because you're antisocial or don't care, but because your system needs a reboot. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's a way to recharge and find balance. Maybe people have called you too sensitive, overthinker, or socially awkward. Those labels can sting, and over time they start to feel like the truth. But what if you're not broken? What if there's a reason you experience the world differently, and it's not a flaw? You might be autistic, and like millions of adults, you were never told. Many people go through life not realizing that their unique perspective is actually part of a broader neurodivergent experience. Today we're uncovering the real signs of adult autism, beyond stereotypes and textbooks. We'll explore what autism really looks like in everyday life and why so many adults are only now discovering their true selves. Welcome to Psych Circles. Let's dive in and start this journey together. Masking, being a social chameleon, might be your lifelong habit. You've mimicked others, rehearsed social scripts, and built a persona just to blend in. It's not deception, it's survival. But it's exhausting, leaving you hollowed out after social events, unsure who you really are beneath the mask. Over time you lose touch with your own likes, needs, and emotions. The fear of being found out keeps you performing even when you're successful on the outside. Masking isn't a flaw, it's resilience in a confusing world. Recognizing it is the first step to rediscovering your authentic self. You can start to take off the mask, slowly and safely. Ever enjoy time with friends only to come home and crash as if you've run a marathon? This isn't just introversion, it's social fatigue, a neurological reality for many autistic adults. Every social cue, background noise, and conversation requires conscious effort, quickly draining your mental resources. Afterward, you need quiet, repetitive rituals, or time alone to recover. It's not rudeness or antisocial behavior, it's a biological need. Even autistic extroverts crave connection but still burn out. Understanding this lets you set boundaries and honor your need for recovery. It's not you, it's your wiring. Most of us grow up thinking that meltdowns are something only children have, loud, dramatic, and outgrown with age. But the truth is, meltdowns are a very real, overwhelming experience for adults too, even if they look different than what we expect. You might have thought you'd left those moments behind until suddenly you find yourself unable to cope. Emotions flooding in, and your body or mind just shutting down. Unlike tantrums, which are often seen as a way to get attention or a reaction, meltdowns are involuntary neurological shutdowns or explosions that happen when you're pushed far past your limits. It's not a choice or a lack of willpower, it's your brain's way of saying, I can't handle anymore. For adults, meltdowns can look like suddenly going silent, feeling frozen and unable to move, or being overwhelmed by intense crying, anger, or even panic. Sometimes it's a wave of numbness or a desperate need to escape, and it can be confusing or even frightening to experience. It's your brain's emergency brake, slamming on after too much sensory, social, or emotional input. Crowded places, loud noises, or even a string of stressful days can all add up, pushing you closer to the edge. The final straw that triggers a meltdown might seem tiny to others, a dropped glass, a missed email, a loud sound, but it's not about that one moment. It's the overflow of everything you've been carrying, finally spilling over. When this overload becomes chronic, it can lead to autistic burnout, a state of profound exhaustion, loss of skills, and sometimes even being misdiagnosed as depression or anxiety. It's a sign that your mind and body need rest and understanding, not more pressure. Recognizing meltdowns as neurological responses, not character flaws or personal failures, is absolutely key. It's about understanding your brain's limits and treating yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a struggling friend. Start by learning your triggers and early warning signs. Notice what situations, environments, or patterns tend to push you toward overload, and give yourself permission to step back before you reach your breaking point. Remember, it's not about controlling or suppressing meltdowns, but about honoring your limits and caring for yourself. Self-compassion is the first step toward healing and resilience. You seem fiercely independent, but it's not by choice, it's a defense. Early on, asking for help led to misunderstanding or dismissal, so you learn to rely only on yourself. Hyper-independence is a trauma response, a way to create safety and predictability. It keeps you in control, but also leads to burnout and loneliness. Others may see you as aloof, pushing support away and reinforcing your isolation. Unpacking this means learning to trust yourself and others. Start small, let someone help, or ask for clarification. Interdependence, not isolation, is real strength. Your needs are valid. You don't have to carry it all alone. Does a surprise phone call or change of plans throw off your whole day? For autistic people, the brain craves routine and predictability. Disruptions feel like chaos. Even small transitions like switching tasks or stopping an activity can be overwhelming. It's not about being rigid, it's neurological. Routines and rituals aren't quirks, they're anchors that regulate your nervous system. When disrupted, anxiety spikes. Understanding this lets you build tools, timers, visual schedules, or simply asking for time to adjust. Communicate your needs. It's not about resisting change, but supporting your brain through it. Give yourself grace. You're too sensitive. Maybe you've heard these words whispered, shouted, or even joked about for as long as you can remember. It can sting, especially when it comes from people you care about or trust. If you've heard this all your life, it's not a flaw. It's your nervous system processing the world at high volume. Your brain and body are simply tuned to pick up on things others might miss, and that's not something to be ashamed of. Bright lights, background noise, scratchy fabrics. They're not just annoying, they're overwhelming. Everyday sensations can feel like a tidal wave, making it hard to focus or relax when the world feels so loud and intense. These aren't exaggerations. Your brain genuinely receives more sensory data. Scientific research shows that some people's brains are wired to process more information from their environment, which can lead to feeling overstimulated or exhausted. You adapt with sunglasses, noise-canceling headphones, or cutting tags. These are the necessary accommodations. These small adjustments aren't quirks. They're essential tools that help you navigate a world that often feels too much. Emotional sensitivity is real too. You might feel others' emotions intensely, even physically. Sometimes it's as if you're carrying the weight of someone else's sadness or joy right alongside your own. The autistic people lack empathy myth is just that, a myth. In reality, many autistic people experience deep empathy, sometimes so much that it becomes overwhelming or difficult to manage. You may absorb emotional atmospheres leading to overload. Crowded rooms, heated conversations, or even watching emotional movies can leave you feeling drained or needing time alone to recover. Sensitivity isn't weakness, it's a trait that needs care and respect. When you honor your needs, you're showing strength and self-awareness, not fragility. Reframe it as perceptiveness, not a burden. Your experience is valid, and your sensitivity is a unique strength that deserves to be celebrated and protected. Do you have a passion you could talk about for hours? For autistic people, these special interests are more than hobbies. They're sources of joy and regulation. Others may call it obsession, but for you it's comfort, focus, and happiness. Engaging with your interest is immersive, calming, and recharging. These passions can lead to deep friendships and even careers. The ability to hyper-focus is a superpower, not a flaw. Don't hide your interests. Embrace them. Info dump to a willing friend, fill your space with what you love. Your passion is your strength. It's your brain's way of finding joy and purpose. You feel emotions deeply but struggle to name or express them. This is called alexithymia, common in autistic people. You might feel a knot in your stomach or tightness in your chest, but not know if it's anxiety, anger, or excitement. Others may misread your neutral face or calm exterior, not seeing your inner storm. This disconnect leads to misunderstandings and makes self-advocacy hard. Learning to connect physical sensations to emotions is key. Tools like emotion wheels or journaling can help. It's not a personal failing, it's a difference in how you process feelings. You're learning a new language for your inner world. Honor your emotional experience. Eye contact, small talk, and reading social cues never felt natural. They're exhausting, not effortless. Forcing eye contact can be overwhelming or even painful. Small talk feels pointless. You crave deeper conversations. You might be blunt or miss sarcasm, taking things literally. Texting or writing feels safer. You can process and respond at your own pace. These aren't deficits, just different communication styles. The double empathy problem shows it's a two-way misunderstanding, not your failure. Understanding this frees you from shame. Advocate for the communication that works for you. You're not a bad communicator, just a different one. The biggest realization? Not everyone experiences the world as you do. You thought everyone was exhausted by socializing or overwhelmed by lights. They're not. You blamed yourself for struggling, thinking it was a personal failing. Discovering you're autistic reframes your whole life. It's not weakness, it's a neurological difference. Grieve the years spent misunderstood but also feel relief. You can stop fighting your brain and start working with it. Look back with compassion, not shame. You weren't broken, you were surviving in a world not built for you. That's real strength. Why weren't you diagnosed sooner? The system missed adults, women, and anyone who didn't fit the stereotype. Many were misdiagnosed with anxiety, depression, or personality disorders. Realizing you're autistic is life-changing. It's the answer you've needed. Self-understanding unlocks self-compassion and authenticity. Start by learning from autistic voices, seeking assessment if you choose, and connecting with community. Embrace supports without shame. You weren't too sensitive, too much, or too difficult. You were autistic, and now you know. Thank you for watching Psych Circles. You matter, and we see you.